right, so now we are live to our free little group. We're just kind of doing this a little different than normal. Normally we host these little hangout stitch together things in our Stitchee Discord, but we thought we'd share it with the free group for a bit, so everybody is welcome to just hang out and stitch and listen to us chat about random different things. I never know what the conversation goes to, but we've got a couple more that are going to pop in, and they're going to show off some of what they're working on. Some people are working on some of our Stitchee stuff. Some people are working on some of my other patterns. Some people are working on Death by Cross Stitch, I think is what Cass had said. So we'll just kind of go through from there. So hi, Ashley's here now too.
Give me one sec, I'll be right back.
Okay, and we've got Autumn. There we go.
Hello.
Pop everybody in here. Oh, and Joey's here. Sorry, I forgot about Bat Dog. And Sable's here. We also have furry Stitchees with us.
Excuse me.
Right
Oi.
Is somebody growling?
Yeah, my dog.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
I moved.
You move, so the dog.
Yeah. Oh. Can you stop? Oi.
And in true Stitch Together fashion, because I cannot multitask, I bobbinate as we hang out. Can't work on mine and talk at the same time. How is everybody?
Good.
Happy flag.
Oh, you, me too. We match. I think Dawn has the other one, I think.
Yeah, I have the other one.
Blanket. Yeah, see, she's got her blanket too.
It needs washed.
Yeah, I think I have that one somewhere too. This one just sits at my chair, and then it comes in when I'm doing needle minders too.
Which one is the one that you have, Dawn?
The original one.
Oh, yeah. I don't.
that one's nice.
Yeah. Amanda sent it to me because the first year we ever did a Christmas exchange, the person who got me ghosted me. So Amanda sent it to me to make up for it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Rude.
Yeah.
That or the mail. It could have been the mail. You never know.
Yeah.
Right? It was our first year doing, and now what we've done is we've changed we do still do the Secret Santa every year, but we do them in July instead. Because I found that with Christmas, there was a lot of just sometimes people just couldn't get it out in time, which it's fine if it's late. But then other times, like the mailman would lose things and things would be late. So we swapped it. So we have Christmas in July now. And we do the Secret Santa then for those that want to join into it. And it seemed to last year work, I think, a bit better. I didn't seem to as many lost in translation sort of things. So
No, I don't think any got lost when we did that.
No, I think we did. I think we did it. I think it worked out better because Christmas just seemed a bit crazy. And then everybody's brain is on Christmas, right? You're not thinking of, timelines for things to ship, right? You'll go, okay, I got it in the mail. And it's like, no, but the mailman takes 3 weeks at Christmas to get things.
Yeah.
If you ever get it.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I wonder there's a stash of my stuff, needle minders that the mailman has a good collection is what I figured.
Amanda, I almost wish you released the March bobbin today instead.
Oh yeah, you could have just shown it off instead. Yeah, Ashley tries to do them beforehand for me so that there's something to showcase that isn't just the virtual one, because I don't know.
I mean, technically it's Sunday here, so
Yeah, the email is technically Monday, I guess it'll be going out for you. So the challenge with the new bobbin will be in there.
Is anyone else coming?
I'm just trying to. I'm again. My multitasking skills are really on point. Ginger's supposed to pop in, I think, and then Julie wants to. I think I've got room for 10 because I put the Streamlabs so that we can do 10 people in here. For anybody who's just watching, if you do comment with the program I'm using to host this, I don't see names. It shows up as Facebook user. So it would be helpful in your comment to put your name first. I do have Facebook up as well, so I should be able to catch it. But if I happen to miss it or I don't know who I'm talking to, if you put your name first, I'll be able to at least know, because that first comment that I see is actually Julie looking to get in here. So that's one quirk to doing in-group lives with this program is they don't translate the names over for the comments and stuff. So it just adds a little bit to my multitasking tab here. Good thing I have 2 screens.
How many people are watching?
so far, it doesn't want to tell me. Well, it says 7 so far. So, but I don't know how accurate. Sometimes Facebook will. It takes a while for it to show up in people's feeds too. So that's why I said we'll kind of hang out for an hour or so, and then
There we
if
go.
people want to ask questions or anything, they can do so in the comments. If they want to make comments, they can make comments, and you guys can just get some stitching done.
Yay.
Yay! So Cass is working on Death by Cross Stitch, and it's going to take you a bunch of years, right?
My goal is to have it done within 3 years. I would like to do at least 3 to 4 pages, or maybe 5 a year. But this big.
Oh wow. Is it full coverage?
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
It's mostly one color though, or is it a bunch of colors?
I'm just doing it 2 colors. I'm doing 224 as not variegated. Then I'm doing this variegated one. It's called Milkshake.
Ooh,
That'll
that's
be
nice.
cool. And then Sam looks like she's working on Tinkerbell from the stained glass one, from what I see.
Still.
Yeah. So am I. Don't worry.
But see, you're doing multiple at once. I'm
Yeah.
just doing Tink.
Yeah. See, this way, like I feel like I'm I'm working on a different project every time. Like if I get bored of one or one, just like the colors are too spread out, and I'm not in the mood to do that, I'll just swap over to one of the other ones. And then I had this habit last year was like, oh, I don't feel like doing all these 4 of this color, 4 like the confetti stuff, whatever. So I'm like, then I started moving over and doing just the black because the black moves so quick on those.
Yeah,
You just like I do the outline first, and I'm like, okay, so now I have I think 6 of them on the go instead of the 3 I had told myself I was going to finish 3 and then move over. And I keep adding to it, so
I do the black outline too because then I've got little sections to work.
yeah, it
in.
feels like a coloring
And
book.
then I'm kind of like, if I can finish that section today, I'll be happy. And usually
Yeah.
I don't finish that section. But
So mine is behind me here, over there in my normal little stitching area. I'm just on the computer beside it, so switch this back.
I found since
so
I've had Pattern Keeper, it's been easier to keep track too.
I do find that helps, especially with the larger ones. I find I like it for all of my patterns, but when it's just the little ones, if it's a quick thing that's going to take me a day or 2, I won't even bother loading it in because it doesn't show the fractionals the right way anyways, which I hope they change someday. But
Bring it out on PC so I don't have to use an emulator.
yeah, I have to do the same thing because
That
I
was a
just use it on my laptop.
whole different situation setting up and
Yeah, my husband did it for me.
yeah, so did mine. I went, I want this now, just fix it. Make it work. But no, it's been good because we've been doing the mini ones each month as well. So I finish all the mini ones and then the end of the month's Tink. So I'm not
Yeah,
just
she's
doing
kind of
her and being like, oh, I'm done with this. Hurry up. But I'm on the very bottom. So it's like, oh, yes, it'll be done soon. I hope.
Well, yeah, and it. Sorry, I was gonna say I find with Pattern Keeper too because you can see the numbers and you can see that percentage. It's like it feels like you're getting further because when you look at it, I have to like put pictures side by side at the end of each month for any of my big stuff because I need to be able to see that I did something because you don't see it day to day.
Yeah. And I like on Pattern Keeper how it tells you like when you've done all the stitches in that color, you're like,
yeah,
oh,
I did
That zero. That
Oh my
zero
gosh.
is the best thing to see.
Oh, I got so many of them yesterday, and I was like, yes, nearly must be done. I'm seeing zeros, not hundreds and something.
Exactly, yeah. It makes it helps with the progress feeling. Like that's what I found that Pattern Keeper, and then it helps make less mistakes, especially if you're looking at so many different colors.
Yeah. But I like confetti
I like the
because usually
highlighting.
if you make a mistake, you can kind of hide it. It's all right.
Yes, yeah, those ones are easy. You're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
okay. I'll just. The colors are so similar that it's not too end of world kind of thing.
But my biggest mistake is I'm going from this one that's big to the Mario one that was on your Etsy.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, why am I doing big after big?
Yeah.
Probably wasn't smart, but oh well.
Nice to have little ones. I'll go and I'll grab some of the stuff from the Stitch Hub, like just little, like I'll do a zoo one, or I did a Tinkerbell on the waist fabric the other day just because it's quick things and you're like, okay, these are easy. I can sit on the couch. I don't have to be at my stand. And
You feel like you finished something then.
yeah.
Otherwise, you get to the end of the year and you're like, I had no finishes. Whoops.
Whoops, I got a lot of partially done things.
I did a lot, but no finishes.
Yeah. And what's Dawn working on? One of the outlines?
Still plugging along on Thor.
Oh, I was going to say, I couldn't remember if you're on Loki or Thor.
Yeah, I went to Thor. I did the Loki first because, I like Loki better.
Did you see today's Loki?
No, I did not. I had to go grocery shopping, and then I came home and put everything away.
Our little superhero today was, I wonder if I show it on my phone, if it'll be weird on the camera. Because I don't know if I can. I don't want to try screen sharing. I'm gonna break something.
I would be like, yeah.
Okay, now put Cass back in. She
Yeah,
disappeared on us.
so my Wi-Fi went out for a few minutes.
I was gonna say that or the cat hit something. Let's see, does it show up decently?
I'm on my phone right now, so.
Oh, he's
Oh, that
cute.
Loki's so cute.
Yeah, so
Oh,
he was
he's-
today's little release for that was supposed to be yesterday's. I put him up today for the superhero one to match Thor.
The rumor is the trailer for season 2 is supposed to come out Monday, so that's excited. I have
So
issues.
what are you gonna do with all the outlines? You gonna hang them all together?
Some of them are for the kids. They wanted them, and then so I'll get them framed, and then the rest I don't know yet. Probably frame them and hang them around. The husband will come home and be like, "What is this now?" Just be like, "Ignore it." I don't know yet.
Mine's learned. If I've put it up, just look. Don't worry. It's usually
leave
Disney
it.
stuff, but he's kind of accepted.
Yeah, I've taken over the walls slowly. They're all
Yeah.
posters and Tinkerbell and
Yeah. Oh, mine's just any Disney. I'm like, there's gonna be Disney in every room of the house, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't expect anything less." I'm like, as long as you know.
Yeah, back when my dad worked at Disney, my mom started decorating our whole house with Disney themed things because Disney World has a shop on property that's just for cast members.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
like all of like the decorations from the past that like they still had in stock but they don't sell anymore to customers or guests or whatnot. And so my dad would just go in and see like what kitchen utensils do they have today, like
Oh,
what
that's
things do
neat.
they have today. So we had an entire like Mickey themed kitchen for
Oh,
years.
I'm so jealous.
And it was
Ew.
one of those things where
I
people
love
would
that.
walk into our house and they're like, "You guys work at Disney, don't you?"
no.
Not at all.
Yeah, how can you tell?
What gave it away?
Every time you move,
Oh shit!
a random guy. I
swear
thought it was
stop
Joey the first time. I'm
brainworm.
like, since when does Joey growl?
No, but mind you, it's a tiny little Shih Tzu. Like, it's not a big dog.
They're always
And
the
then my
tiny
other
ones.
ones-
They're always the grumpy ones.
My other one's probably hiding because she's growling, and my other one's the older dog. That's the baby. She's got problems. That's all I can say.
Autumn, what are you working on?
I am finally getting started on the February monthlies, so I have to get my boxes in order for my monthly spread. But I've been so frantic this month that I haven't started on them. So I'm like, that's my
You
goal.
realize it's the end of the month.
It is. But
You still have 3 days.
yeah,
Lots
that's
of
why I keep
time.
telling myself, I'm like, I have 3 more days. I have the weekend. I'm not planning on doing anything else today or tomorrow. So I'll just stitch all day.
There you go.
I've been stitching and playing around with my new sewing machine
Nice.
and reorganizing my craft room.
Yeah, I keep reorganizing, and then I always have to reorganize again and again and again. And I just gave up on the reorganizing concept.
Well, I think my issue is that the way I had my craft room was the way it was when my mom passed away. So I'm
Okay.
to move stuff around that's different so it doesn't remind me of when she passed.
Right. Something a little different. I had a tenant in my old career that was the same way, and she came to me and said, like, is there another apartment? Like, can I just like? And I'm like, it's the same. It's just reversed. She goes, that's perfect. It's just so it's something different. Like,
Yeah.
Like
it works.
I found a new system for all my floss, so I've spent the last week working on
Organizing.
every little thing reminds me of my mom, so I just try to change everything up.
There you go.
That works.
And then in the comments, Kimmy Lynn had mentioned asking about the bobbins and things. If you shoot me or Ashley over there a private message, we can help you with that, because it doesn't want to let me comment on the post with links. So for now, we'll just say you private message either me or Ashley, and we can help you out with that part for sure. And Ashley is working on, back on the zoo? Yeah. Petunia Panda.
Ooh.
With
Ashley
With
is
Toby.
spoiling me. Ashley is spoiling me, and that is coming to me when she's all done.
Oh, I love that.
So I need a wall for her.
you need a wall, and you need to finish. The other animals.
Yeah, get you all 50.
I think we're at 30 something.
Yeah.
36 or 37.
Yeah.
So,
for
it'll be
anybody
another year.
Yeah, for anybody that's not sure what we're talking about, Cutesy Zoo is part of our included within the Stitchee membership. So there is a new animal that's released each month, is what she was showing, and there's going to be 50 in total, and I think we're at 37. I'm going to say. Trying to load it to see.
Do you want to explain the difference between
all of my
bundles,
different words?
You have bundles, series, and
yeah.
sound.
So and this actually would probably help some Stitchees too, because it is written in part of the. I think there's a cheat sheet in the hub for this, because this is my brain, and I kind of just brain dump it into ideas, and then they make total sense to me, and I realize they make no sense to anybody else. So within our Stitchee little family here, I release either Stitch Alongs series or bundles. So the Stitch Alongs are similar to any other Stitch Along you see all over the cross stitch world, where small pieces of one pattern come out each week, month, whatever it's set up as. So we have a section that's those. Some of those are like a one-time Stitch Along, like our Cutesy Express, which was Harry Potter themed, and the current one that is the kind of a video game theme one. I will post some pictures in the free group throughout this week and see it, because there is a couple of Stitchees that are caught up on that one. So they come out either, usually it's monthly. There's some seasonal ones and things that I do a little shorter so that it's within the same season that it happens. And then the bundles are sort of similar to a Stitch Along, but each month's release can be done on its own. So it's a bundle of things that match. So I know we've had them, we have a calendar one. So each month there's a calendar. So you can stitch each one individually, or you can stitch the whole group on one piece, or whatever way you want to do. So you don't have to always be on top of it. You can kind of grab them as you want. And then the series are the zoo that Ashley showed there. So they're little 50 by 50 stitches usually. So nice quick things that can be done in a day or two. And there's just different themes to them. Like the zoo one is one of our main ones. We have one that's cats and coffee, because we have a lot of cat lovers. I have a lot of requests for a dog one, which is going to be coming soon. We do some mini versions, so I'll do it where, okay, so for 2 months I'll give out, like, there'll be like 8 pieces. So we did a snowman one. There's 8 different snowmen. The Loki I just showed is another mini version that is, I think I'm doing 10 of the different
I finished Harley.
Which one?
I finished Harley Quinn.
Oh yes, Harley Quinn was in that group, yeah. And then there are a few series that are actually exclusive to the Stitch Bucks, which is a Stitchee currency, I guess we can call it, where we've got some the Disney villains in there and dinosaurs so far. So there's a lot of different things between the three. So there's a lot happening, and I try to. There's Harley.
So good.
I like the pink, the colors on her hair.
Yeah, she was heaps pretty. Pity I don't like her, but.
Are you the one that stitched that for a sister or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember who did it. Somebody did it because they really liked it. Somebody did it for a sister who had no care about superheroes.
No. Yeah, that's me. I'm the Disney one. She's the superhero one.
Superhero one.
Yeah.
I also finally drug it back out, but I have the first 4 days of the year for my temperature chart.
Oh yes, the temperature chart I
took last year's pattern, and then I'm also doing this year's pattern. But instead of doing like just the highs or lows, I'm stitching it with the averages, because each row is only one color.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the average temperatures for the one you put out this year.
Yeah, the one that's more text-based. So that's another thing that comes out every year with as a Stitchee, is a temperature chart. Just something different design each year. You don't have to use that design for that year. It's just things to choose from amongst all the other goodies that are in there. And then in terms of people here, we have two founding members. So they have been with me since we opened. Well, you guys signed up in May of 2019. We officially opened in July of 2019, which is when Cass joined us. So Sam and Dawn are my founders. And then Autumn and Ashley are newer ones. I think the last round for both of you.
Yep, September.
Yeah. So we got a little mix. I know I don't see Andrea yet. Andrea was supposed to come too. She's over in Germany. And Ginger was supposed to come, but something obviously came. So that's okay.
Longer.
And someone in the comments is saying they can't hear anybody. I think that we are okay normally because somebody was answering a question. So if anybody can comment and make sure that somebody can hear us and we're not talking to ourselves. But I think it could be that you're either muted or sometimes Facebook, the app on phones, especially I find the iPhones, doesn't like to give sound sometimes. So you may have to watch either the recording later of this or grab it on a PC or something. That could be the problem too, because I know I sometimes can't get volume on my lives on the app. Well, April says she can hear us. Michelle is in there. Michelle's another Stitchee. She's in the comments. So people can hear us. We're not talking to ourselves.
Good to know.
Well, we're not talking to ourselves. We're kind of talking to each other, but you know.
At least we don't look like we're talking to ourselves.
Yeah, and I thought this was a better way to hang out, because I was like, I'll do a Facebook Live, talk about Stitchees and stuff, and I'm like, well, I can't sit here and talk to I feel really weird doing Facebook Lives by myself and like talking to the comments. It's not me, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna get you guys to come with me. This way, the free goop can hang out with us. They can do some stitching and have some background noise, and we can hang out like we normally do. We host these sort of stitch togethers, as I had said before, in Discord normally. The rooms are always open, so people are welcome to go and use them at any time, but I will usually plan at least one every month or two for myself to be in. Ashley will do some randomly. Savannah, which is another early on Stitchee, I think she came in the same time as Cass. She'll do one about once a month and just kind of set times for people to go, because some people just don't think to do it. And then if there's actually a date that everybody else is going, it'll kind of get you in and just hang out and cross stitch and chit chat about all sorts of things depending on the day.
Oh, yeah.
So this one, it was just a little different. That's why there's a lot of Stitchees that are in the comments rather than in here, because I can only bring 10 people into this with me. We have 6 of us now, so if there is any other Stitchees that would like to come in, you can message me and I'll send you a link. But otherwise, it'll just be us 6 for now. And I'll tell you guys what the comments say, if the comments say anything.
Sweet.
Johanna's in here too. She's another Stitchee. Make sure to tell everybody else to come hang out with us too, in text form. And I lost my stickers for my bobbins.
Tell you one thing, I love it because before I only had neighborhood that I would hang out with the cross stitches. So now that I have the Stitchees, I can talk to people all day long that are stitching, and I love it.
Yeah, I like that we have, like, because we do have the Discord and we've got, you know, all the different chats and things. It's easy to just message, and like if you just need to talk to somebody, and especially with, I find with cross stitching, if people aren't cross stitchers, you can show them, like, you know, obviously, like, my husband's super supportive of when I do stuff, and like it looks like he's like, that's great, but to him it you know what I mean, it's not his cup of tea, I guess. So it's like, at least if you could talk to somebody and you're like, I made a mistake, like to somebody else, they're like, oh, that sucks, and you're like, no, like you need to understand. Or when I get all my thread in or something, like I get super excited about things, and just like people are like, you're excited about pieces of string? Yes.
Well, it's funny, I belong to a Floss of the Month club. So each month I get, I don't know, like 6 new different things to floss. And as soon as I see that envelope, I get so excited. My husband's like, why are you getting so excited over floss that you might not use?
Because it's the
Because it's
fact
so
that I
pretty?
have it.
Exactly. It's the fact that I'm adding to my floss stash, whether I use it or not.
Yeah.
I know my boyfriend's a really good sport about going to the craft store with me, and he tries to pretend to be excited for me. But he's also very much one of those people who's very into like unique colors and cool colors. So whenever he finds a floss color that he's just like, "Ooh," I'm like, "All right, I'll get it. I'll get it."
I don't know what I'm using
I'm
for.
excited about it. I'll use it for something.
Well, it's so bad that the knew my husband by name. Well, the old people that used to work. And then when I go to the store called Gita's, that's near Toronto, the ladies, as soon as I come in, they're asking where James is. I'm like, I'm here. Yeah. You're shopping. We want James.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of good cross stitch shops to actually go into. We only have Spotlight, and they're really getting lazy with their cross stitch stuff. So I have to get all my stuff online.
Yeah.
But
We
yeah,
only have
every time
Michael's
I get
up
a
here,
parcel,
too.
my husband's like, "I know what that is." I'm like, "Yeah, shh, go away, don't judge me."
Don't acknowledge it.
Yeah. Oh, he can look. He's allowed to look at it because he cross stitches too.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
Well, that's neat.
sometimes, yeah, he's doing the big Zelda one that was on Etsy.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, just like for first cross stitch, decided to do 18 count on black, and I went,
Oh.
"Good luck."
Yeah. I think Ian,
Going, my
No.
daughter's trying to call through.
Ambitious.
Yeah.
you need to pop out.
Yeah, my daughter's trying to call.
All
She's
right.
called about 3 times, but
Well, you
it was
better
really
call
nice
her.
talking to you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, we had Andrea in the group is the same way. She's a new cross stitcher, and her first one was like this full coverage, like giant piece for a first one, and it's like, okay, that's ambitious.
That's brave, yeah.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was gonna say my first one starting back was the stained one. I decided, before I started making patterns, I bought one, and I did about like probably 50 stitches on it, and I said, this is a horrible pattern. So I, kiboshed that idea, and I'm like, I'm just going to make my patterns and do it because I wanted to do certain things. I'm like, no, that's kind of where my life started with all of this. But then I started back, so I hadn't stitched in probably 10 years, and I picked up the stained one, and the piece of fabric came in, and I'm like, oh, what did I just do? It is like 4 feet by 4 feet, I think, something close to that.
Wow.
I'll be done when I'm 80, I think.
As long as you get it done at some point.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get across where the frame is showing. So that's like, I think it works out to just shy of half of each one. And then I'm gonna scroll, and I'm like, right now it's cool because it looks like this nice little thing in my living room because it's a bunch, like it's really pretty, right? And then I'm like, once I go to scroll, it's gonna be feet for like 2 years because I'm gonna scroll past them. And it's gonna be like your Tinkerbell feet, and then like Ariel's, like everybody. I mean, it's gonna be a thing of feet. It's not even look good anymore.
My first cross stitch was during like the second month of COVID or something like that. And I had gone through my mom's craft room and I was just trying to find something to do.
Oh.
And I found her old cross stitch bag and found one of her whips that she had never finished. And I just kind of looked at her, I'm like, am I allowed to try this? Like, is this holy, or am I allowed to mess it up? And then from there, I started finding patterns on Tumblr, and then I got into a stitch group that I kind of like. I just didn't mesh well with them because most of, like, a good majority of them are over in Europe and everything, and only a couple of us are here in America, and so it's just I can't do any of the cool stuff with them.
Right.
But then I found, I think Facebook suggested your group to me at one point, and I was like, all right, I'll look at this because I kind of scrolled through and I loved the bobbins. Saw the little bobbin characters.
Oh, my little, yeah. There's so many people that the bobbins is these guys, for anybody who doesn't know what my bobbins are. We have them in needle minder form, and a lot of people, I get messages probably once a week saying, is there any way for me to get those needle minders? Because those are a Stitchee only needle minder, and they always have been. And I'm like, well, you can, I think there's a couple mugs that have like one or like I made the mugs like with Laguna on it and like with Bobby on it, but I'm like, the needle minders are completely like, you can only be a Stitchee to get those. So the answer is always no. And we have a hello from Germany from Julia, and then Tracy stopped in to say hello. She's another one of our Stitchies, so she says hello. And then Ashley has something else too. I had her stitch up a preview for me because with every opening of our little Stitchee family here, new things start. So all of our existing Stitchies also get all the new stuff too. So everybody gets excited at launch time, not just the new people. So we have, I have another preview to show tomorrow. Shauna is another Stitchee who's finishing that one, which is our cutesy Who. That's a stitch along. So that's going to be like a monthly release sort of one. And for anybody who's not a fan, the cutesy Who refers to Doctor Who. So that we will show tomorrow or Monday, depending when she gets it done. I don't want to rush her. And then we have a series that's popping out. I think it's April, or I can't remember the date, which is Off to Oz. And Ashley has one of those ones all done for me. So she can show that one off.
Oh, that's
you guys haven't even seen this. So. So that's again another little monthly release. These ones are tiny. I think Ashley finished it in 2 days with her sparkly little shoes. This is one of my favorite movies, so I'm really excited about this one, and I'm probably going to do it myself amongst the million other things I don't have done. But those are 2 of the newer ones. We've also got another series that's going to come out that's the gamer one. So I know we have the Let's Play a Game Stitch Along, which is tiny little blocks of different games, but this one's just going to be sort of like the Harley that Sam showed, where it's going to be just one random character. I'm just going to pick. There's so many video games, I'm probably going to end up taking requests because I don't know which one to pick. I have a hard time when there's so many choices to be like, I'm going to do this one. I'm like, I need people to say, I like this one. And then I'll start kind of picking those out and things. So that's another new one coming. There'll be another set of seasonal stitch along starting. Last year's was a bucket list style. Amy was supposed to be here and she had that one done, but she had something come up. So these are things I'll showcase throughout the week because I don't have, like I said, I don't think I have a screen share while you guys are all in here. So we won't go there. we will show those later, but there's always going to be different things for all the different likes. But the cool thing is and one thing I never expected when I started this was that majority of the Stitchies have very similar interests. So it makes it very easy for me to make the patterns because they're in line with my interests. And it also makes it very easy for you guys to fall in love with different ones because what I like, you like. It kind of works out. So it seems like all my people come in here. They're all the same as me. So
I can probably pull up Amy's finish of the.
Yeah, I think she posted it in one of the groups.
But let's circle back to this whole Doctor Who thing. So I'm going to be able to have a teeny tiny 10 in my pocket.
You could, yes, because it's going to.
Oh wait, let me rephrase that. 10/14.
Yes, because he's coming back. And now, and it's funny because when I decided I was going to do this, because I know I have a lot of Whovians, Shauna being one of my biggest ones, and Ashley and Shauna both help me with the moderation in the free group, so you'll see those names a lot more. But Shauna is a big fan, and she's kind of put it in my ear a couple times. So I put it on there last year in the planner and didn't tell her, and then she was proofreading the planner, and she just like, oh my God, did I just see Who in the planner? So yes, it's going to be similar to the kind of like the Cutesy Express, but in a more Doctor Who style of like, it's not gonna be a train, but there will be all of the doctors amongst other things. Shauna has the first little bit done, almost done. So once she has that done, I'll show it. We have Kim saying hello, and
Hi, Kim.
Rin is excited about Doctor Who and Oz. Those are, I think I hit a good group of people with those two because those are a favorite amongst many. So the Doctor Who one, for anybody who is not a Stitchee, is going to be a Stitchee exclusive, the same way that Cutesy Express, which was our Harry Potter version. Those will never go into my Etsy store. Those are specific to our little Stitchee family. So sometimes things stay exclusive like that in our bobbins. Other times patterns will go up on my Etsy individually. So like say the cutesy zoo that Ashley showed, each individual animal will go up, but not the whole group. The same way the Stitchees have access to all of them, sort of thing. So that's sort of the difference there. So there will be times that people outside of our Stitchees can get some of our patterns, but not all of them. Some of them are just for you, Stitchees. And me. I have Cutesy Express, I think, about halfway done. Sort of. But I picked I think I did it on 30, that's 32 count or 28. So they're really, really tiny stitches. But they look really cute when they're tiny stitches.
I have only ever stitched on 32 count once, and I hated it. That's too small for me.
Yeah, my stained one is on 28.
Yeah, all my stained are on 28, but
Mine's on 14 count. Mine's big.
Yeah, then she turns out I have Tinkerbell actually in the Diamond Art Club had them in diamond painting. So I have Tinkerbell in that form. And then I've actually met Jade, who does the conversions from my patterns for those now, because Diamond Art Kit doesn't sell them anymore. And her sizes are a little bit bigger than what I think, like with my patterns, turned out a little bit bigger than Diamond Art Club, but it's got all of them, right? So I've been hanging, like she's sending me a couple of my own to go with my Tinkerbell, because I never thought to grab all the other ones before they discontinued them.
Yeah.
So I only have Tink. So she's like, well, I can do any of them. I'm like, oh, well, here you go. So they convert the patterns. Yeah. So I'll have even more.
I tried the diamond dots, but I don't know. I figured if I'm sitting there, I might as well be cross stitching. More fun.
Yeah. I mix it up between the two. Just if I want like a no-brainer thing, because it's like paint by number to me, because it's kind of like a stamped cross stitch. So it's just literally you put the dot where the color tells you to. When you use the kits from say Diamond Art Club or one of those, they'll have it's where it's stamped on. So to me, it's just like a no-brainer. If I feel like doing something where I don't have to count and I don't have to think, I'll play with those. And hasn't been for a while though. I think I finished the last one late last year.
My boyfriend's mom got me a diamond art for Christmas. So I'll have to eventually get to that one.
Yeah, I think my first one of those was another one of Mandy's pieces, which was the Wizard of Oz one. That's what got me, because I saw the Wizard of Oz and I'm like, oh. So it's just to break it up. I use it as a break from that stained piece, because some days I just don't feel like the confetti-ness of it. So even I get mad at my own confetti, people. I should put a disclaimer on any of my full coverage charts. You're gonna deal with confetti.
that's why I just stick to the outlines.
Yeah, the outlines are easy. Yeah, the outlines are. I like how you did them though, with where you like pick one color or something and just print it a bit.
Yeah, I did. I'm doing that with just like the heroes, like any of the villains I do. I just do them just straight one color. That way there's a little bit of a difference. So
there was someone in the round the first round, the one that I was in, that was doing them on colored with the black outline. That's really cool.
Ooh.
That's Dawn.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, she does different colors for all the different
Yeah,
ones. And
they
then
look
she
really
does
cool. Yeah.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
It's a way to break up if you don't want to do the whole, because they are an adventure, those ones. Like I warn people, like if you're a new cross stitcher, that probably don't want to pick that up as your first piece, because it will possibly deter you from wanting to cross stitch, because it's not like, I mean, they take a lot
not for the faint of heart.
Exactly. Which is another reason the mini version came out as well, because I had a lot of people who really wanted them, but they really just couldn't. Like some of them bought and just looked at it and said, I can't, I just can't. So that's kind of part of the reason that the mini version came out, because it's still big and it's still a project for those, but at least it's half the size.
Well, this is the first big one I've done. I'd only done like little kits and stuff, and then I got this one because it was Disney. I had to.
Yeah.
And then, of course.
And then here we are, almost 4 years later.
I know. Still doing my first one.
Still doing the first. Hey, same here. I started those stained ones before we launched the fall before I launched our little Stitchee family. So that would have been 2018.
Yeah, because I think I signed up when you put them out for for a free stitch along.
Yeah.
And then
a lucky, like I think it was 1,000 people got lucky and got all those stained pieces for free.
Let me tell you, when I did Merida, that one drove me nuts because I laid it all, because I still use the paper. So I had it laid out on the floor with the color printout of the cover, trying to figure out where to highlight the hair a different color than the black. I'm like,
oh yes, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's what the kiddo wanted. She goes, Mom, you have to do her hair orange. You have to do it red. And she had to come with me to pick the perfect red. And I'm like, okay.
Thanks,
Like,
daughter.
whatever you want, kid. I'm like, Mommy hates it, but okay.
Isn't that always the answer? No.
Yeah. Well, she turned out great. Let me see if I think I have her.
We have a hello from Rachel, and Maureen is in here too. Maureen's a long-term challenger, does some pretty awesome stuff every month. So it's nice to see you here too.
Yes.
Wrong page. I don't know how well she's showing up, but
see your hair.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
I love the color of your fabric for that.
Yeah.
Actually, here I can go like this. Oh no, that's me. No, it's not going to go. To Dawn.
There we go.
No. Solo, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
she had me pull the belt in too for it. And I'm like, all right, kid.
I have to fill a piece in.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Be a pro at this app eventually. I'm going to go look for my stickers. I can still hear you guys, but
okay.
Go that way.
Like how after Amanda walks away, we all just go back to our
We're just like, okay.
Like I could still hear you. You could talk.
I was just trying to decide because my boyfriend bought me like the DMC box of all the variegated thread. And so that was my New Year's present from him. And so I've decided to use it for all the monthlies so that I don't have to hunt down all the colors for the letters.
Mm-hmm.
I just use the variegated thread for the letters for the month.
Nice.
Is what I've decided to do to give me an excuse to use them because usually I'm too OCD about it and I can't stand using a variegated thread just out of like on whim. So like this is the one thing it already has a variation, so I can get myself to do it.
Yeah, and it doesn't itch your brain too badly.
Yeah. So and I also need to make sure he sees me using it so that he doesn't think he wasted or got me the wrong thing.
Yeah, I have a problem using things like that. Like I bought the tin that has the first or the sparkly ones, the étoile, whatever they're called there. And I'm like, and I for my cousin's wedding, I'm like, I'm gonna use one of them because they're really like sparkly, like they're nice and sparkly, but they're not the headache that metallic can be from times. So I'm like, I'm gonna use one, and then I'm like, now it's empty. And so I believe it was. I couldn't get it locally, so Ashley was looking for it for me because I'm like, now there's one missing and I need it back.
I think they discontinued them.
Did they?
I had a hard time finding them to finish. I had to actually order to finish the Mother Dragons pattern because I was doing her, and that's the sparkly étoile, the silver, and I had to order it online because I couldn't find it locally.
Yeah, ours had all of them except the one I needed.
Yeah.
Typical.
I'm like, that's right. But thankfully my cousin's thing only used the one, so I didn't like not get to finish it.
Yeah. I was like online, I'm like, I will pay $5. I don't care. I just need to finish this.
Yeah, I had like I think like a one length left of the whole skein once I finished hers. I'm like, oh thank God. So I'm like, I don't want to have to go hunt that down.
I'm working on a pattern actually for my boyfriend, but I'm using the étoile or whatever it is for it, but I'm mixing it with like one strand of regular DMC just because mine, every time I use it for some reason, it snaps. I don't know if it's something that I'm doing or what, but it's so fine.
Yeah,
that it snaps on
you
me.
have to be really like when you're
Yeah.
twisting the 6, you have to be like really gentle with them.
Yeah, so I find if I put in like, because I'm doing it on 14 count, so it's really easy to do 3 threads with it.
Yeah.
So I'll do 2 threads of sparkly and then 1 thread of just that normal color in DMC. So I had to go on
give it some base.
I had to go on a manhunt to find the right numbered threads to do everything.
Gotcha.
So Amanda, when do Stitchee doors open again?
9 a.m. on March 3rd. So 9 a.m. would be Eastern time, so that would be my time. And I know that there is a sign-up spot for people who want. It's going to be a 15-minute head start because there is some bonuses that get claimed. Last time they were gone within, I'm going to say it was 45 minutes. The first 50 of them were gone. So the button mashing begins at the head start. Will get the 8:45, and then everybody else, they got a button mash at 9.
Nice.
Yeah, so then we are open until the 13th. So it is like a 2-week thing, but the caveat to that is that this time we are limiting enrollment because I want to keep our little family. I want to be able to know everybody's name. That's been always one of my sort of mission statements with doing this is I want to know everybody's name, and at least I can usually know something about everybody. My brain is not 20 anymore, but I still do okay. So I want to keep it close knit. So we're keeping our little Stitchee community under around about 500. So this round will be the first time that I may close the doors early, because last time we did gain close, and then we had about 100 spots left after the last time. So once those spots are gone, those doors are going to close before the 13th if that happens. And then it's going to be a wait list. So when if somebody sadly has to leave us, then that spot will be open for somebody new at that point. So this will be, I'm going to think this is the last round where we're going to have a lot of spaces that are available. In the fall, I may be saying, hey, there's room for 10. Because I don't want to be a big corporation. I don't want to have, a bunch of staff and people are kind of nameless to me. I want this to stay our little family that we are. So we're going to limit it down, and then people just get to wait to join us if they can.
Sounds like a good plan.
So then we have what else is here in the comments.
See, I'll pop in and out next weekend because we're gone for comp cheer, but I'll pop in and out.
Yeah, so it'll be Friday. Things get pretty.
Yeah,
I talk a lot about Stitchees. So anybody in the free group that gets my emails, you will hear from me every day from March 3rd to 13th or until the doors close. And I promise you that I do it twice a year. I try not to be too crazy with your inbox because I am very grateful that people allow me to email them. So I don't want to, overdo it. So I try to only regularly message about 2-3 times a month. But the twice a year, I do talk about Stitchees for 2 weeks straight. But if you, listen to us, so even if you can't sadly join us, that is okay. I understand that the money trees are not full enough for everybody to join us. The free group is always here, and those free challenges will always go out. But don't hit unsubscribe during when I'm yapping about Stitchees, because then you will not get your challenge printables. So just listen, and you may get some tips and things out of there too. You never know. And then we go back to regular scheduled programming after that.
I do know I can't think of their names at this time, but there were at least 2 people who previously commented on posts that they were waiting for Stitchee doors to open again.
Yeah, so this is why I'm warning people to either get on the wait, like if they want to be in for the bonuses at the beginning, get on the head start, because I've gotten messages that somebody has, I think, 4 alarms set. And even if it, like in the comments here, I've got April who has taken Friday off work. Make sure she's in. So it gets really quick, like as soon as those doors open, and then for about 2 weeks we get, a lot of craziness within our Stitchee Facebook. There's a lot of welcoming and things like that. We're gonna do these Stitch Together in March our normal Discord one, just the Stitchee only, to kind of welcome everybody. I think I'm going to do 2 instead of 1, just to catch 2 different time zones, because I know that we're all over the world. But I think it's going to, it gets a little busy in there.
Yeah, I know.
Seems harder to join than to get to a concert.
Yeah, see?
I think in September, I actually, because I think it was 9 a.m. you opened it, and I remember I had an alarm set on my phone, and it went off like in the middle of my class that I was teaching. And so I just kind of like finished my sentence real quick, and then I went on and I signed up, and I'm like, okay, you guys, sorry about that.
I'm here, I promise.
And all of my students that were in there for tutoring that morning, so it was before school, but like just before like first period started. And all my kids for tutoring are looking at me like I'm crazy.
Oh, she froze.
And we have a pause for dramatic effect. Oh.
I think she froze. There she is.
Very weird. You paused there for a second.
Oh, got you. But yeah, my kids are like, wait, you stitch? You do that? And I'm like,
Old lady hobby is what I hear.
And I was like, because they think of me because I'm one of the younger teachers on our team of teachers, and so they're like, wait, but that's so old. And then I showed them like the things that I stitch, and they're like, oh wait, this is actually kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the old lady sport. And I remember like my husband even used to say that back in the day, and now he laughs. He's like, well, I'm not going to call it an old lady thing because that's, what I'm doing full time. So,
okay.
But even then, like when we moved to this house, I wanted, like my husband's like, get a nice comfortable chair so you can cross stitch in like, your own little spot and whatever. Cause we didn't have room at the other place. So like my chair is legitimately a rocking chair. He's like, and now you have an old lady chair to go with your old lady hobby.
That is actually what we need.
No, I just always tell people I stab fabric so I don't stab people. I don't look like an orange.
Yeah, I told my students the same thing, and then when I got the needle minder that Amanda sent out, the socially acceptable way to stab things.
Yeah, I have that too.
Yeah,
I got it, and I showed it to one of my students. I had made the joke too, and it's like, yeah, I cross stitch during my lunch so that I don't murder you guys in the second half of the day.
there's a method to my madness.
Yeah.
That's why we try to keep our Stitchees very much like this, where we're just happy and joking, and we don't have drama. Even the free group, I try my best to keep Facebook drama out of the Facebook group. It is difficult some days, and there will always be spammers pop in. Like you can't really get rid of them completely, but I do appreciate people reporting it when they see it, if it's like the weird stuff that shouldn't be in there. But we do I try to keep it, because this is a hobby that people use to relax and de-stress and things like that. So we always stay happy. We keep off of the touchy subjects, things like that. And it seems to work so far. Even in the free group, for as big as we've gotten, it's still not nearly what I've seen in other groups. So I do appreciate all the free members as much as I do my Stitchees, because you guys keep that group fairly chill and happy, which I like. I don't like drama, so I don't really tolerate it either. I'll just kick people out if they're too dramatic. Or Ashley will for me when I'm not at the computer. I wake up in the morning because Ashley's 4 hours, something like that behind me. And I'll wake up to a bunch of messages, and I'll be like, okay, here's your answers. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Not much for spam, so.
Oh, and if there are any new people that have been approved recently, like say the last week or so, we have your emails, so don't worry. You got to give it time for those emails to start rolling through.
Yeah, so on that topic, actually, seeming we are in the free group, when it comes to our monthly printables, they are sent out usually the 28th, 29th of the month. I try to do it close to a weekend if it falls on a weekend. So if like the 28th and 29th is, the Monday, Tuesday, I may do it the 27th then. So you guys have it on a Sunday so you can get your printing done and stuff, so you don't have to do it at work. But those printables do take time to come to people. So when you do first sign up, it is me manually adding them in. So I do that 3 days a week usually. So it will take up to could take up to 3 days. So if I do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Ashley adds you into the group on a Saturday, you may not see it till Monday or Tuesday. Another thing with those is Gmail and other mail providers are really kind to hide me sometimes because the email has links in it and stuff like that. They may put me into a promotions tab. Other times they'll put me in spam. If I've happened to have sent you a couple emails in a row, like if it's right after the Stitchee promotion stuff where I'm sending you an email every day, the end of Marches, you may end up with that one popping into spam. So a good suggestion for that is to search for my email address or my name and see, because it could be in your email somewhere. That those providers seem to eat emails. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. And if all else fails and you can't find it, then myself or Ashley can help you to get those printables. But it does take a bit of time when you first join the group to get those pieces. Also with those printables, there is the little monthly little bobbins. Those are available during each month. So February's is available for February, March is for March. But previous months, if you see the blue one that Ashley's holding up there, the January one is no longer available for free. It is still available, and it's, I think, $1 I have it up at or something, or $2. So they're not that expensive, but they are not free after the month. So a perk of being a part of the free group and staying on my email list is that you're going to get them free every month. But if you're new to catch up on anything in the past, you would have to just go into, there's a photo album in the Facebook group. You can go into and grab all the past stuff that may have gone by before you got to us. And Dawn disappeared. Goodbye.
Oh, no.
And somebody who's, Julia says she's in love with the bobbins. I've gotten a lot of good feedback about our little bobbins. And the funny thing is when I first, because last year I decided to start these little minis. It was totally a whim. Thought of it one morning, said, cool, this will be something cool to offer the free group. And then every month I would just pick a random thing. I'm like, April, I'll put a bunny, or this month I'll pick a seahorse. Like, it was totally random. So this year I said, I'm going to, make sure it's a themed thing. So, because people were starting to put them all together, and I'm like, oh, well, that's neat. Maybe I should make them all match. And then they were actually originally going to be all different cross stitch themed stuff. But then I fell in love with the bobbin too. And I started just redecorating the bobbin into, little seasonal things. So, I think he turned out a lot cuter. And if you have the layout and you notice the 4 extra spots at the bottom, those will show up throughout this year. The dates will be undetermined until the events happen. So as an example, one of them is for my birthday. So if you know when that is, you know when that's coming out. If you don't know when that is, you will once it comes out. Another one is for World Cross Stitch Day. So again, if you don't know when that is, Google it and you'll know when that comes out. And then one of them is going to be on a milestone of the group. So once we hit a certain point of members, so that one will be determined when we, if you refer people, it will come faster. And then I'm trying to think what the 4th one was. I don't remember. I'm a goldfish some days. I have a lot of paper. My planner is very helpful.
Yes. There's actually another teacher at my work who cross stitches, and she found out that I cross stitch because she walked into my pod during lunch one day because my pod at the time had the printer in it. So she came in to print stuff. She's like, you do it too. So I told her about the group, and I'm trying to convince her to at least join in the free group. She's like, I have too many on Facebook. I have too many. I'm like, there's no such thing.
No, it's a free. There's nothing.
The limit does not exist.
Yeah, I actually, we've got last round when we opened, I had a Stitchee join us who is actually, I think she's moving into Sudbury itself, but she's literally a 20-minute drive from my house. And I'm like, I had to message her individually. And I'm like, I try to message everybody to welcome them, but I'm like, hey, I have to take an extra second and say that I could actually deliver your stuff. You're that close. It's for as big as the world is. It was, and it's a small town, and nobody else, because I live around here, I would catch it. But if it would have been a small town anywhere else, I wouldn't have figured out where it is. But I was like, you're really close. And then in the free group, I've got Sabrina, who's very close to me. She's actually going to come and meet me at a Tim Hortons to pick up her needle minders.
Ooh, yay.
And Cass, who was here, actually, she's, I think, about a 4-hour drive, but she's got a cottage that's not far from me. And she actually has been up here 2 or 3 times to pick up her planner, to pick up I was her Secret Santa last year, I think it was. So she came and picked up her present from me instead of me mailing it. So I have met a few Stitchees in real life, which is cool. We will eventually, another down the road Stitchee thing is a retreat. Likely in the greater Toronto area. I won't make everybody trek up here because it's an extra flight. You can't fly directly into my city. You have to fly into Toronto and then up here. So why do that when I can drive the 4 hours down and come back? I can drive down there. So we're going to do a kind of a retreat of sorts where we're going to take kind of a weekend and rent out like a big, sort of like a cottage, but a bigger version, and just all hang out cross stitch for weekends.
Oh, that sounds cool.
So jealous.
So for those of you who don't have passports, Ashley, for 2024, I told Shauna the same thing because I don't think Shauna has hers either. You're going to need one for then.
I think you need to design a pattern that we can work on during said retreat.
Yeah, that would be an idea too. We could do that.
I'll add it to your list.
Yeah, Ashley has a list. She writes things on it. There's a lot of things.
There's been a lot on Discord lately too.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, let's
and I'm always happy to take people's suggestions, even in the free group when it comes to like the bobbins are mostly designed, but I do keep tabs on what people say. Like even if I see comments that aren't directed at me, but I see a lot of different things, I'll write down. Like I've got my planner, I've got my phone, and I just kind of, or I'll screenshot. I've got so many screenshots in my camera upload of random things I've seen. I'm like, oh, that would be cute, and this would be cute. Like I know the other day I saw somebody had finished off a block that they did in the embroidery hoop with a cross stitch pattern in the middle. And I'm like, that's super cute. I'm like, now we need to have a Stitchee training on how to do that and the pattern to go with it. So I'm like, that's on my list. It's never ending.
We just like to enable each other.
Yes. I don't just do it to you guys. It is done to me too. My needle minder collection is just as big. I just end up selling mine a lot of the time because I'll have them because I'll keep the stuff I think is really cute, and then someone will miss out on it and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll send you mine.
Aww.
I've lost quite a few, but that's okay because I'll eventually get more. I just want you guys to have them. So the mail people in my house, they always laugh because I'll go and drop it off and all the envelopes are slightly sticky to anything metal, right? Because they're all needle minders, and I just use those metal envelopes. So one day she's like, can I ask you a question? I said, what's that? She goes, what is in these? They're always sticking to the walls, like the wall of the chute. I'm like, I'll bring one in and I'll show you. She's like, okay. So then if I come in with like the stickers, the planner stickers, she's like, are these, you can't send these with a stamp, you know that? I'm like, no, these ones are just stickers. They can go, they won't stick, and customs doesn't need to know. The needle minders have to be declared, right? Because they're not just paper, it's not letter mail. I have to tell them what it is. But I can guarantee you no custom agents knows what I mean. When I write needle minder, they're probably like, whatever, it's not drugs. Little do they know they are drugs, but a different kind.
Just a different kind.
Oh, Lordy.
Actually, my boyfriend is very excited to see all of the needle minders that I claimed.
Yeah, there was some really cute ones in this last round. I was excited to find a lot of those actual cross stitch ones.
Yes.
So that was neat. I'm actually, I did have a mystery minder club, which was a monthly where I'd mail out needle minders randomly every month. And it was mostly just like whatever I had here that was left over is what went out to the mystery people. Like it was kind of a way to just get rid of, those random one-offs I had. But I closed that down at the end of the year, and I'm actually going to work with the people that I made the bobbins through. So the metal style that our Stitchee bobbins are, and do like a custom set that are only going to be able to be purchased it's going to be purchased by Stitchees or get in the mystery club. So people can join the club, and every month will be a different one. And then I'm hoping to get that going by the summer because people have asked me to put it back. I have two magnetic whiteboards in there. And so when I'm packing up like this needle minder, the minder days I did, I've got, I think, 600 800 and some or 700 and some needle minders to do. So my thing gets really full really quick.
I have a metal desk, or my desk has like a metal frame that goes up and over with like a shelf up top. So I'm just gonna put all my needle minders on the metal bars.
Yeah, some people put them all in their fridge too. So they're kind of like a decoration while you're not using them.
Mine
I
are
had
on
actually-
the edge of my computer.
Yeah, there's a Stitchee training in the hub. I've got a board back there that I put a piece of metal in behind, like, so it's a picture frame, and I cross-stitched an actual cross-stitch on it, and then it's got a sheet of metal behind it, so you can put the needle minders on it. So it just looks like a frame on your wall or whatever. Just cute different ways to keep your needle minders somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's what I was going to end up doing with the Stitchee Ween SAL that you did.
Yeah, that was actually, I think I posted.
I think you mentioned it in there, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the Stitch Miss one that matches that, I had said, for a training, you can do it that way too. Way to move like something. You can use a Christmas needle minder or Halloween for that one, and move it day by day sort of thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, that stitch along got me through the hurricanes down here in Florida.
Yes, because you guys had hurricanes at that time.
Yeah. We lost power for about 18 hours. And at the moment, I had been unpicking, frogging like an entire row because I had gone over, or I was too close in. And it was because I had an issue where my boxes, I made them too small.
Oh, okay.
One row of them, it was okay enough because I think I had like 29 by 30 and some 30 by 30. So that one I left. But there was one that was like, I don't know what I did, but it was like 24 by 30. And I'm like,
it's not going to fit in here. I did that with the Stitch Miss version. So the Christmas before, I did I had done a couple of them off by just one. And I'm like, thank God there was room on each side. There was a member who did, I think it was at the Halloween one, and she managed to put her fabric the wrong way, I think it was. So her fabric was it was long wide instead of long.
Yeah.
So I turned around and I went in the program and I relayed it out for her because I'm like, she was already done like a good chunk of the top. So I'm like, I don't want you to have to start over. I'm like, so I went in and I made like an alternate layout for her. I'm like, no, we can make this work. I promise. Another reason I want to keep our little group smaller, so when I can do those requests, because the same thing I think we did last year, the Stitchee or whatever it's called there's a stitch along from somebody else. A number of you guys had wanted a group, so we did a Stitchee group in the Stitchee group.
Yes.
And there was that ending. I made a bunch of different endings and stuff, and I think I still have a list in my email from Ashley of different endings to do for that.
I am actually making more of those Stitchees for my coworkers because a lot of the endings that you made were like things that they already say or like things that they do. So I'm like, well, this would be a great end of year gift for all of my coworkers.
Do it again and again. I don't think I've ever cross-stitched the same cross-stitch more than once.
I have, but it was pattern I had, it was like baby footprints. So I would do it like depend if they had a boy or a girl, and then I put like the birthday at the bottom, but like that's a birth sampler. So
yeah, a little different.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever.
That's the only one I've ever done on 32 count because my can't say my youngest niece anymore because my youngest niece is 9 months old, but my brother's daughter was born 3 months early.
Oh.
And I had 32 count fabric, and it ended up when I stitched the footprint, it ended up being the size of her footprint.
Well, that's cool.
I was like, didn't plan it that way, but I was like, and afterwards I was like, I'm like, never again on this fabric ever.
Yeah.
It was too much, but it was worth it for her.
Yeah, it's funny that because I've got 28 count for the stained ones, and then I went to the 32 for the Cutesy Express, and I'm just like, as much as like 18 to 14 isn't a huge difference to me, but the 28 to 32, I find a very big difference in how tiny it is. I don't find 28 tiny at all, but the 32, I'm like, ooh, okay, we're getting just a teeny bit too tiny for me.
It gave me I could only work on it for maybe 20 minutes at most a day because it gave me a migraine because I was like staring so hard. It was horrible. ready for work yet?
All right. Well, I am going to say goodbye to the free group. Everybody else could say goodbye with me. I'm going to pop off and go watch some TV and get some cross stitching done because it's called a stitch together, but I never ever stitch during these. And I did not find my stickers, so I did not even, my bobbinating box is still empty because I did not even do that. So I'm going to go and actually back there and cross stitch. So this is obviously going to go on a replay. So if anybody has any questions that they see when they replay, I will be watching the comments, and I'm sure so will a number of Stitchees who can also help answer questions about our little collective or any other things you want to ask questions about. I'm happy to answer too. I appreciate everybody watching, and I appreciate you guys for coming and hanging out with me in front of a live audience for once. Usually we do this so privately that I'm putting you guys out to the public for once, and I appreciate you guys for coming with me. And we will talk to everybody later.
Yes.
I will talk to all of you guys in our little Stitchee group too.
Sweet.
Yes.